earlier this week, it was announced that the Deathly Hallows Part 1 composer would be Alexandre Desplat. Desplat is a French composer, but he has recently done some really huge films and has gotten 2 Academy Award nominations for his work, such as The Queen and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. He's also done New Moon, I Hate Twilight, and Fantastic Mr. Fox, and Julie and Julia this year. So he's had a pretty big 2009. At first, when I read about him, I was like, oh gosh, this guy probably did really lame, New Moon soundtrack, like, oh whoopee, yay, we get someone in the Twilight franchise. I don't like Twilight. I think that it might not be as epic sounding as a John Williams soundtrack, but I think this guy is going to do a good job. Also, things that I really hope that Desplat does is that John Williams initiated some themes in the Harry Potter soundtrack fandom, or maybe not even soundtrack fandom, just in the films as a whole. And I really hope this guy picks up some of the themes and carries them along, because it's the second to last film, and I think that it has the job to kind of connect all of the other ones together. I really feel like you wouldn't be able to have like a tune that doesn't connect all of it. I remember I owned the Return of the King soundtrack, and lots of just simple little tunes are from the first and the second film, and they're used. Howard Shore resurrected them and uses them in the third score. So I really hope that this guy does that. Some things I'm talking about, of course, we need Hedwig's theme, but I have this idea in my head that ever since I read the book, that the last time we hear that theme will be at a certain part of the book that happens early on in the film, and I think you all know what that is. And also, Harry's Wondrous World I really like it, and I really wish it could be resurrected again. It was great hearing it in the 4th film, but it was absent in the 3rd and all the other films that aren't the 1st and 2nd one. I want more than anything for a window to the past from the 3rd film to be in at least the 8th film during the Forest Walk. I think that it would just be perfect, because that's such a beautiful piece. John Williams wrote such a really beautiful piece there, and I don't think that you could capture that moment and connect all of the film moments unless you had that bit of music. I think when you're working with a film and you're working with a huge epic series, you have to connect it, and I don't think that connecting it through one way is the best way. Nicholas Hooper, who scored the 6th film, learned this, or utilized this very well, I think, because he brought in some John Williams's, well, at least Quidditch Year 3, which is a personal favorite. I think it should be a personal favorite of yours, too. It's just epic and awesome. And he gave it a little bit of attitude for the 6th year and turned it into, oh, I forgot what it's called. I think it's just called Quidditch 6th year or something. But I really, really like it, and I'm really glad that he took that from that soundtrack and then brought it to his, because it sounds so amazing. On Tumblr, there was discussion going on about how people were upset that John Williams wasn't scoring. And, well, there's 2 things. One, I would have jumped up and down if he was. But the second thing is that, at least for Part 1, it only said Part 1, so Part 2 could still go back to Williams, in which case it's required that he resurrect his old themes, because that would just be awesome. The thing about it is that the first part isn't really epic, and so for John, it really isn't. If you think about it, it's not as epic as the first film or the second film or the 3rd film tried to be. It's really just kind of it's fast paced, but something that I think someone who wrote or composed things such as The Queen or Curious Case of Benjamin Button, something that's slow, I feel would go best with it. Because it's not really, there's exciting bits, but it's not epic, whereas you need the epic Lord of the Rings tunes or the epic Harry Potter 1 and 2 and 3 or 4 ditties, because I feel Patrick Doyle, for composing GOF, did a great job of getting the epic scenes, and he did a great job with themes and connecting them, and I'm a big fan of I'm a big fan of all the Harry Potter composers because I feel like they do such a great job. So before we make this little jump to judgment that, oh no, this guy isn't John Williams, so he's going to suck, we really have to kind of understand that, like, I think it's his job really to connect kind of all the previous 6 films and then put it into the 7th. I mean, of course, he has to write his own little pieces. I don't think it's fair to say, oh, this guy sucks and John Williams just has to do it, because we don't know. John Williams could very well be composing the 8th film, because Alexandre Desplat is only composing the 7th. So let's still get excited. I know I like to make excuses for WB all the time like this, like, oh, they're doing that because they're gonna do this. But I think it's gonna be good. I think he's going to do a great job. Ooh, I want to kind of throw out some of my favorite tunes over the years from Harry Potter, and it's just going to come up to me in my head, and I know that I just wanted to name drop these. Quidditch Year 3, Fox the Phoenix, Hogwarts March and Hogwarts Forever, Neville's Waltz, definitely. Professor Umbridge's theme is great. The Luna Lovegood, like, 10-second theme, Dumbledore's Army, and it's nothing but necessary that has to be in the 8th film. And I love A Window to the Past, if I didn't say that, and I love The Night Bus was just incredible. I love that song. Pretty much the whole POA soundtrack, pretty much all 6 soundtracks are amazing in my eyes. I really, really want to know everyone's favorite Harry Potter music pieces if you watch this. I don't know if a lot of people really like Harry Potter music, but I sure do. So, yeah.